In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do sample number 20, which is called facing, and in this particular example, it is a neckline. So let me show you what you need to get started. So first you're going to get these two patterns, basically an imitation of a neckline, like on a shirt, and then what's called the facing. So go ahead and you will cut those out so that you have these two shapes right here. Okay. So one thing I just want to emphasize is make sure that you draw a straight grain line here in this direction and then here in this direction. So if you need a guide for drawing it, you can just use the straight bottom edge and then you can just do it perpendicularly. So if you make sure that the line here is straight, then this line is straight. So I just freehand drew it and my line is not straight, but if I wanted to make it correctly, then I would probably do this. So that is my straight grain line. And then this piece kind of doesn't have very many places to use as a guide. So what you could just do is line it up. Like, it doesn't quite match up, but just kind of do your best. There'll probably be like 1/8 of an inch here at the top where it doesn't touch, but that's okay. And then you can pretty much just use that grain line you were making here and then just continue it on this piece like that. So now when you go to place this on your fabric, you know which direction the grain goes and how to cut these pieces out. So go ahead and cut your fabric out. Okay, so once you are done cutting out these pieces, then we need to pin them together and prep them for sewing. So like I said, they probably won't exactly match up. There'll probably be, you'll have like a little tiny difference at the top on both sides. That's okay, just, you know, match it up as evenly as possible. And then, you know, just stick a couple pins in there along this edge, because this is where you'll be sewing there, along the top, the neckline here. Okay, and then once you have pinned them, go ahead and sew this neckline at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then once you've done that, you'll end up, you know, with something like this, you know, sewn together. And then this is where a little snipping technique comes in. So this neckline, once you've sewn it, this will be pretty stiff. Like it won't be able to bend very much, and that's not very good for necklines. You know, having a lot of tension along this seam allowance. So a little trick we can do is we can just take some baby scissors and we can cut, don't cut through the seam, but just kind of cut right up close to it and just make some snips. And you'll notice that now it can really, you know, it can be way more flexible. So yeah, go ahead and add some snips along there. And then after you've snipped it, you're going to need to fold this whole thing over to the back side. And it probably won't be that easy. You'll probably need to spend some time, you know, kind of rolling it between your fingers to kind of get right where you can see the like seam And then you'll probably want to, or not probably, you will need to take this over to an iron, and you'll need to iron that so it's crisp, so that it ends up, you know, looking like this, and that the seam is on the inside, and that it's nice and flat, just like that. So that is how you do facing on a neckline.